ultimate power in the universe.
At last we will reveal ourselves.
Oh, I have a bad feeling about this.
You are now tuned into Lightsaber Radio. If you only knew the power of dark.
Here it comes.
Let's go.
You are now tuned into Lightsaber Radio. 4, 3, 2, 1.
Hello there.
What's going on, far away family? Welcome back to Lightsaber Radio, the most unconventional and outrageous Star Wars show on the web. Make sure that you bash that subscribe button, punch the shit out of the notification icon, and use all the power in the force to hit that thumbs up. It helps the video get in front of more Star Wars fans, so they can join in on this outrageousness. So is everybody ready to get some laughs on?
Let's get it. What the fuck, Disney? What the hell? I'm sorry, I've been thinking that since. What time did you send me that, babe? Like 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock? Since 10 o'clock here in Idaho, I have been sitting there welding at work thinking, what the hell, Disney?
It's one of those things like when you watch the video and they say that they're changing the date. It's like, what? And then he comes on and says, but you get 2 hours or however long each episode, you get the first and second episodes combined all on that day. But it just made me get to thinking, like, why would they change this? Like, what is the purpose behind them changing changing everything? Like, why would they move it from Wednesday to Friday? Like, why would they do that? I don't get it. Like, they had to have double booked something. They had to have.
I can tell you why.
Why?
One of the reasons why. Star Wars Celebration is all that week, and Friday is one of the bigger days, other than like Saturday, obviously. And that's when they release most of the stuff is on Friday. So I wonder if they're going to do a huge streaming kind of deal where all the fans get to see it before we got to wait until like midnight, to watch it.
I don't know. I just don't see the purpose of it. There's no real purpose behind it. I was looking up online, like, what else falls on Wednesday? Right now, as what I could find, there's nothing on Disney Plus that's coming out on Wednesday. So they have the day before, the 24th, something comes out. They have the 26th, something comes out, but doesn't come out on that day. That actually was the original release date. So the Bad Batch was supposed to come out on May the 4th. Then somebody had posted a rumor that it was coming out on the 25th. Then Kenobi dropped on the 25th that it was supposed to be coming out on the 25th. So it's like, all right, man, what's up with all this miscombobulation and everything going on? I was like, dude, what's the deal with this? And I couldn't find nothing.
I feel like they're going to do something sneaky. I feel like maybe something might surprise drop on that Wednesday that we at least expect, Something that we don't know is going to happen just yet.
Unless they are like doing like a precursor or, something else, and they move the first 2 episodes, but they're still, or could it be that they scared that the damn thing is going to break the internet again? It's going to shut down their servers because everybody's going to try to come watch it. So they moved it till Friday, but they're really dropping it back on. They're really dropping it on the 25th. They just don't want everybody to know that they're dropping it on the 25th. Could it be something like that? Because
It could also be because it's the middle of the week. Boba Fett was always on Wednesday. Wasn't Mando also on Wednesdays?
No, Mando's on Fridays.
Yeah, Mando's Friday.
Oh, well, that also they could have looked at it as like, who's really gonna, like, it's the middle of the week. It's kind of an unconventional day to drop new episodes. Maybe they just were like, let's go closer to the weekend so that people can actually sit down, relax, not have to stress about having to go to work the next day or whatever.
Or be idiots like us and wake up at 1 o'clock in the morning and prepare to watch.
Those are different.
That was during all of the Boba Fetts. It was we can't go to sleep. We can't go to sleep. We can't go to sleep. And I'd like pass out on the couch, or he'd pass out and then get like punched awake.
I just went to sleep. I just set my alarm to go off because it came out at like 3 o'clock in the morning or 2. I can't remember which one. And I had my alarm set for like 15 minutes before that so I could just wake up and watch it. Because the worst thing that you can do is wake up in the morning and first thing you know, you look at your phone, see if you missed any messages or anything important happened. And then all you see is a stream of crap explaining the stuff that happened in the episode and just ruins it for you. Like, man, like, screw that. I'm just going to wake up and watch it when I get up.
I'm not even looking at my phone. Everybody's dead.
Well, I run the Instagram and the Twitter, so I kind of have to look at my phone. That's also why I'm so adamant on staying awake and watching it when it comes out.
And that's the same thing with me because I post everything on Star Wars in 10. And so the first thing I do is get up and look at what's going on. Like, what's happening? Is anything new happening? Plus, I got news feeds that's happening all, like, constantly. Constantly new feeds that's scrolling through my phone. So it's like, oh, crap, man. Are you serious?
Yeah, I took the kids and my niece to school this morning. I came home, I took a little power nap on the couch, and then I woke up, and that was the first thing that I saw was the video that they posted. And I was like, oh, hey, look. And it just said, we have an announcement. And I was like, oh, crap.
All I've got to say is that Disney planned that out well. Because if you would have sent Kathleen Kennedy out saying that, a lot of people would have been pissed. But you send the man that's very, very loved out to just politely tell us, like, hey, we screwed up. We got to push it a couple days. But look. He came off as like, I convinced them to give us 2 episodes. Like, that's how he was talking. He's like,
here, I got it.
Don't hate me. Please don't hate us. Please don't hate us.
I got the video. Let's watch it right quick. I got the video, so we can just watch it. Let me see, where is it at? Okay. Share screen. Share screen, video file. Okay. Where's it at?
Why don't you click on the Lego one?
No, it's not the Lego one. After I watch them or whatever I do, I usually delete them.
Hello, Star Wars fans. Thank you for all your incredible support and response to Obi-Wan Kenobi. I have some important news. Our premiere date is moving just a couple of days from Wednesday to Friday, May the 27th.
Okay, first off, I got to say, so the way that they did that, I got some news. They were moving the date. But he says it's so smooth, like it's not like a problem. Like nobody's going to be mad about it. Like he kind of says it almost in a sense of he knows something that we don't know. That's why we're really not going to be mad.
He's coming off as like a car salesman. It's like, hey, yeah, the check engine light's on. But don't worry about it. The car drives. Like, get down the road.
It definitely starts.
Right?
Yeah. I don't know. It just, and especially the way that he's saying it, just how he just has so much confidence in what he's saying. It's like, dude, we're about to be pissed. You're about to tell me I have to wait 2 more days? 2 whole days. You know, I've been waiting this long. It's like minutes is going by like years. And you're going to tell me you're moving it 2 days? But he just does it like it's no big deal. Like, oh, yeah, we're moving 2 days. But, you know what I'm saying? It's sort of like that.
I have a couple Star Wars pages that I follow on Facebook, and they have countdown goings. And one of the posts that they did was like, well, shit, now I got to restart my countdown.
Yeah. Oh, there's been a bunch of them on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter. On TikTok, there's been several of them I've seen pop up, and like every day they renew it every single day. So it like just pops up again, and it's just still counting down. Like, man, it's like, dude, take this off here. It's almost like at Christmas. You know how I used to build them Christmas rings, and you out of the construction paper, and then you had to peel off one every day as it got closer to Christmas. It's almost like that. It's like, dude,
like those chocolate calendars where you poke the door and you get the chocolate. I was always one of those kids that ate all the chocolate and shut the door and made it look like it was still there. But like, to me, it was like that. Like, it was like, yeah, just understand the 25th, which I don't understand why they're moving it from the 25th, because the first Star Wars came out on May 25th. A New Hope came out on May 25th. That was the first time we saw Obi-Wan Kenobi.
That's why I thought that was the whole point of them releasing it. You know,
it makes sense.
It just made sense. Like, Kenobi is like probably the biggest thing that's coming out in Star Wars in a very long time. You got to understand, when they brought out Mando, nobody knew who Mando was. It's not like Mando's been a character in Star Wars for 40 years or even, 20 years. He's not a character that's known. I mean, this was an all new thing. The Bad Batch, newer type thing. It's not something that's really been out for a very long time. Then you dropping Kenobi. Like, we've been waiting for this movie for ever since 1977. Like, when is Obi-Wan Kenobi gonna get a movie? You know, like, when is this gonna happen? So there's been people that's been waiting years and years and years for this. So of course, dropping it and putting it on a date that is just that big of a date just made sense. That's why I thought that they were doing it.
I just also want to say, I believe it's today. Happy birthday to Kenobi. To McGregor.
Ewan McGregor. Happy birthday.
Oh, that's cool. And they dropped it on his birthday. What's up,
Hey,
Bodie
what up,
Collections?
Also, I don't know if it's been mentioned or not, but that look that he just gave was just like, oh shit, there's another one.
It just, it sucks. I'm glad that we're getting the 2 hours or however long each episode is, because they haven't really released how long each episode is going to be, but we're getting 2 episodes on that Friday, which is, now I'm not getting no sleep today. I might call in, you know what I'm saying, on Friday.
You no sleep?
Like, call in Kenobi. I'll write it on my holiday. I'll take that day off and write it down on my request form for a day off, and I'll put it on there. Gotta watch Obi-Wan Kenobi series premiere.
It's caught me funny. Like, I've watched the trailer like 50 million times, and it was just that look that he gave through to Luke, and Luke's just sitting there. He's pretending to fucking drive, and it's just like, oh shit, there's another one. Not gonna go
another pod racing freaking useless life form. Great. This is
just like his damn dad.
This is what's gonna save the galaxy. I'd be better off with my lightsaber and telling everybody I'm a Jedi.
You'll probably make it out better with in that situation than he would in some other situations. At least he could fight his way out of that, like raising a kid. Like, well, I guess, he raised Anakin, so, Anakin was like 8.
And we all saw how that turned out.
Yeah,
it didn't go so well. It didn't go so well.
There was a lot of other forces involved in that. They don't even know about Luke. But then technically, he don't even raise Luke. All he does is watch on.
He pawned him off. What are you talking about? He's like, yo, I know you wanted a kid and you can't have one. Here's your nephew who's going to have very dark, deep-seated issues, and you're going to end up dying. But here you go.
He's just the Hubert of Tatooine, just spying on Luke.
Jeez. No. Why? Shall we continue this video?
Yeah, just give me a quick second. I'm trying to type some shit.
There's a glare on my screen from where you're at, so I didn't see you looking down. But that
here we go.
Snappy comeback.
No, I'm posting to TikTok. All right, here we go.
But here's the exciting part. The first 2 episodes will premiere together. So make sure you tune in to both episodes of Obi-Wan Kenobi, streaming Friday, May the 27th, exclusively on Disney+.
Yeah, I just got chills. I'm not going to freaking lie. Like, I got chills.
I can't wait to watch this. Like, I really cannot wait to watch this. I really think that this is going to be a very good episode. My only issue is, I only have one issue, is the fact that they changed the date. That's it. That's my only issue. That's the only issue I have. They changed the date. Like, why would you change the date? Like, it just bothers me.
I'm still stuck on that celebration concept. I really am. Like, the Friday, you make sense. You'd have hundreds of thousands of people in Anaheim, California, at a convention center in Star Wars outfits, in front of a big ass screen, and you're playing 2 hours with Ewan McGregor there, because he's gonna be there, and Hayden Christensen, and I'm 10-1 that whole cast of Kenobi is gonna be there. Like, I think that makes sense, because you're not gonna want to drop that show in the middle of celebration on the first day of celebration.
Yeah, not everybody who's going to be there on, say, a Friday would be there, so it wouldn't be that big of a Celebration.
Oh gosh, that's dumb.
Well, I mean, it would be cool if you think about it. That would be cool because you got all the fans and everything there. But they're gonna be there all week, man. Star Wars Celebration just ain't one day.
No.
You know, it's like a week's worth of stuff going on, so it wouldn't have mattered. I still think that they're gonna drop it on Wednesday. I think that first episode is gonna drop it on Wednesday, and then they're gonna do then you'll be able to watch Friday, or on Friday you'll be able to watch 1 and 2. You know, they'll drop the next episode in, because you got to think about it. If everybody, if everybody jumps online, dude, Mandalorian crashed their server. And that's a nobody. You know, nobody even knew who Mandalorian was. We're talking about Obi-Wan Kenobi. You know how much, which I'm pretty sure that they upgraded to way better than what they had when they dropped Mandalorian. But still, I think this is all some type of misdirection. That's what I'm starting to think, because there's nothing else that Disney has announced is coming out on that day.
And Disney is notorious for saying one thing and meaning another.
It's hard for me to see, it's hard for me to really recognize that they would do that. That they're just going to change the date, especially because they just announced it, a month ago?
Yeah, officially a month, but we've known for about 2. A
lot of people.
Sources leaked, and it was kind of there.
People got fired at Disney.
Lucasfilm be having some fits, but no big deal. Originally, everybody thought it was going to be May 4th. I remember that was the first thing, was May 4th.
Well, but the Bad Batch was supposed to come out on May 4th, and then it was so they switched it to the 25th, which was kind of I got dude, it just sucks.
I think that's what's going to happen. I think we're going to have a Wednesday and a Friday show. I think they're going to give us a little bit of cartoons for the kids, because not all the kids are going to grasp that whole Kenobi thing.
Well, a lot of kids ain't even going to understand what's going on, because if you don't know who Kenobi is, and some of the younger people that's only seen the sequel trilogy, they're not going to know who Obi-Wan Kenobi is.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm thinking they're still going to drop the Bad Batch on that Wednesday, so kids have something to watch on Wednesdays, and then us adult time on Fridays. Yes.
Well, then we're going to have a lot more episodes coming out.
Oh, yeah.
That's another thing that kind of made me mad, because the whole point, we're doing a Rebel recap just to kind of catch up to, until Kenobi comes out, and then we'll do the Wednesday shows on Kenobi. Now they're changing it to Friday. Now we got to redo our whole scheduling system. Not so much the schedule. We'll still do a Wednesday and a Saturday show, but now we'll be talking about Kenobi on Saturday, and we'll have to do something else on Wednesday. That was something else that irritated me. Like, what, man? You're messing up our whole little program that we got going on here.
Disney don't give a damn.
I know they don't, but that's all right.
They're about money. We're about content and giving the fans what they deserve, a good comic relief.
The mouse don't give a shit.
But that mouse don't care. Which is fine with me. I want more Star Wars anyway.
It's just hard for me to, to grasp why they would do what they're doing, how, what, why, where, to me, it just, I could understand if this was like George Lucas. You know what I'm saying? George Lucas is known to just do some crazy just completely left field stuff. You expect that from George, but Disney to change something in the middle, we mess up and we have to change times because, somebody can't be there, or, we all forget the time change, something like that. But this is a multi-gazillion dollar company. They got more money than God at this point. So, you know what I'm saying? Why would you be changing stuff up? A month before it's about to come out, you're going to change something? You're going to say,
they got online. I think they got on that website where all those Star Wars podcasts were, and saw that everybody has been talking about it. And they're like, it'd be funny if we went in and we moved the day. And then we added another show. So they'd be really screwed up. I feel with how the mouse runs his company, I really feel like that boardroom be like that, though.
How can we fuck with the fans the most?
How can we ruin some podcasts? How can we cause some divide in the house?
Well, I mean, so when they dropped the trailer, I knew it came out on Reddit leaks, on Star Wars leaks on Reddit. They dropped that video on Saturday. It was on there. So we knew that it was coming out. Then they actually dropped the actual thing on Wednesday or Thursday that they dropped the actual trailer. I think it was But no, it was it was Thursday because that's when Star Wars Now or whatever it is podcast come out on Star Wars or their little 10-minute segment thing that they do every Thursday. So then it came out then, but it had already been leaked like prior to that. So it's like, all right, it could have been something because of that, because it was leaked. So they just announced it and they said it was coming out on the 25th. And then they were like, that's what y'all get for keep leaking shit. Quit doing it because we're just going to keep, messing y'all up. We're going to do this intentionally. I mean, there's so many different reasons that they could have done this, but it just irritates me that a multi-billion-dollar company is going to put out like fake press and stuff like that. I understand that they're trying to keep everything under wraps, but at the same time, kind of look at it in more of a sense of why, like, why are you doing this?
I am to a point where I'm just gonna let the mouse run the show.
I'm just here for a good time.
I'm just the more Star Wars the merrier. Yeah, like I said, I feel like they sit in a boardroom and like planned ways to screw with us, which is okay. Try us. We're just gonna create more content. You're just gonna make us more popular. I appreciate it. Like, trust me, we adapt very well.
Well, they really don't have a choice. You know what I'm saying? I mean, well, not them, but we don't have a choice. They're in control of everything. What if it was like Dave Filoni just playing a practical joke? Because we know we've heard about his jokes on set.
Tomorrow is April 1st.
I could see that.
And it is April 1st. That's another thing I was thinking about that earlier. It is April 1st. Tomorrow is April 1st. So this would be like the greatest April 1st joke.
You know how much money they'd have to pay him to do that? And you know how many people are going to be
Dude,
mad at him?
it would be hilarious, though.
Not heard him in interviews. He is the biggest. He just says he loves messing with people.
But that's not the point, though. A lot of people would be mad, and that's the last thing he wants to do, is to turn people away.
Yeah, but it ain't gonna turn nobody away.
No,
everybody's coming to watch it. And anybody that got any type of sense of humor would be laughing about it. You know what I'm saying? They're going to laugh about it. They're gonna sit back and be like, "Oh man, this is dope." You know what I'm saying? I can't believe they did that. And it would be funny just for them to, because they got to make that. I mean, which I know I could make that in my bedroom. You know what I'm saying? That wouldn't be too hard to make. Stand on the stage, talk this thing, we're going to point the camera at you, this is what you say. I mean, it probably took them 10 minutes to film that whole little 45-second thing, trim it down. Not no big deal. But at the same time, I mean, so it's not really costing them any money. They could have already had it done. That's the reason they dropped it, the day before April Fool's, so they can come out tomorrow and be like, April Fools. That would be so funny.
They send us the full video, and it's like, Ewan's like, ha, joke's on you.
That would be the best. That would be the best thing ever.
I can agree but disagree, because we got a lot of Karens out in society, and there's a lot of Karens in this nice universe we're involved in. I don't want to throw no names out there, but I know a couple major YouTubers that would be like, "Yo, that was messed up. That's not even funny." And then you got us over here. We'd be cracking jokes. We'd play that video like 3 times and crack up laughing because Ewan would be like, "Ha ha, I got you guys," and we'd be like, "Yep, you got us. You had us."
I would put that like if they really did that. If they really did that, I promise you, I would go and I would like dub that out and figure out a way to put that into the intro. I really would. That would be part of the intro.
The hello there, you cut out the hello there when he drops down. It's like, ha ha, I got you. Joke's on you. April Fools. Jeez.
That would be like the greatest thing ever. There would be nothing better than that.
I couldn't stop laughing if they did that. I would just be rolling. There'd be no way in hell you couldn't sit. Like, I could sit here and not just crack up laughing.
Dude, that would be hilarious. That would be like the funniest thing ever.
And if you were to put it in the intro, if that was to happen, every time we get on, man, I'd be laughing. I'd be like, dude, it's been 4 months and I'm still laughing.
Kenobi season, the mini series would already be over. I still have that as the intro.
Right.
That would talking about. No, the funniest thing would be if he just like started and he was like, hello there, April Fools. Like, dude, that would be like the ongoing meme for like the next 20 years.
It'd get rid of that Will Smith smacking Chris Rock thing. That's
would
how
be
popular that's going to be. Maybe. I don't know.
Hey, that's like, I'm getting tired of hearing about this already. Like, dude, it's over, man. Like,
Joe Rogan had a 2-hour podcast about it.
like,
They got in a heated argument over it. Joe Rogan, who is very open to other people and their opinions, got in an argument with a former UFC fighter about it.
yeah, I listened to them. So
Yeah, and it was like, man, you even got Joe Rogan pissed off about this. Like
well, that's because Joe Rogan and Chris Rock is friends, and Joe Rogan always stands up for comedians.
Oh, yeah.
He's a comedian. That's what he does. He's like, dude, it's innocent. You know what I'm saying? We are comedians. We just say funny stuff. It's not meant to be hurtful. It's not meant to be painful. Look how much, dude, he was standing up for Dave Chappelle for so long. You know, because of all that stuff with Dave Chappelle. It was a joke. It's just jokes. So that's the way that they look at it. When they look at it like that, it's like, these are just jokes. This isn't nothing, you know, this isn't nothing special. It's just a joke. You know, it's not meant to cause anybody harm or pain or anything. You're supposed to laugh about it and then let it go.
And like Rogan said, it was just such a bland joke.
Like, yeah, I didn't, like, it was just funny. like everybody got the joke. It was like, he, go on to the next part. Smack. Like, are you serious?
Even Will Smith was sitting there laughing until he looked over and saw Jada's face all pissed.
Well, all I know is that Chris Rock went back to the back and looked at Wanda Sykes because she was the main host and apologized to her.
Yep.
And Wanda's like, why are you apologizing? He's like, this was supposed to be your night, and I just got bitch slapped on main stage. You're never going to get nobody's going to care that you hosted. Everybody's going to only know that I got slapped at this Oscar.
Hey, but you got one thing. Like, this stuff is going to be talked about every year around the Oscars for the rest for the rest of the time. So they made history. Guaranteed, that's a history call right there. If it was staged,
getting smacked this year,
right?
You know what I'm saying? That's going to be an ongoing joke for years and years and years. And Oscars, they're going to be bringing it up for years and years. I'll probably be dead and they'll still be talking about it.
10-1, they're going to bring Chris Rock in, and he's going to be the main host next year.
That would be like really, really funny.
That's a good middle finger to Will Smith. It's like, you smacked the host, now he's the main host. You downgraded. You're not allowed here.
I just think, you know, but you got to think about it like this. No matter what Kenobi does, like, people are still talking about Boba Fett. The book of Boba Fett. Some people love it. Some people are putting it down. Some, like me, I'm like kind of in between now. I've watched it enough times. I've watched it like 5 times. And every time I watch it, I like it a little bit more. But because now I'm starting to really come to the conclusion of where they're really coming from. Like, Boba Fett is, why not make him a good guy now? You got, like, most of the people that knew that he was like the bad guy are all, you know, like, they're not around. They're not, unless you're like a super fan like us, it's really not a, you know, saying a big deal. So they can do that because now the generations have changed.
No, I think this is going to bring a whole new aspect to Kenobi. It's going to bring a whole new generation of Kenobi fans. People are going to want to watch the Clone Wars over again and see those pinnacle. Can't talk. Very vivid points that Kenobi had, and it's just going to get into great detail. Shut up! Quit it. Pinnacle. Cool. Because I almost said pickle. But it's going to bring up some great points that people are going to want to go back and like watch 1, 2, and 3 in Clone Wars, and they're going to want to watch that season of Rebels where he fights Maul, and they're going to want to watch A New Hope and Empire and Return where you get a little bit of the great Sir Alec Guinness, and just try to tie it into Kenobi. And I already know fans are already doing that right now. They're trying
just
to
imagine how many people are going to be on Disney Plus the few days prior to Kenobi coming out. Everybody's going to be going to watch the prequel trilogy. Everybody is going back to watch the prequel trilogy. Every Star Wars fan that there is going to watch that before Kenobi comes out.
Yeah, and then Kenobi's gonna drop, and even the new fans that are gonna come out and be like, okay, everybody's talking about this, I might as well just watch it. They're gonna be like, okay, why is he being a babysitter right now? Like, why is he a babysitter if he was this awesome Jedi? They're gonna go back and they're gonna watch it.
All I've got to say is if you bastards crash Disney Plus before Kenobi, and it takes them a few days to fix it, and we don't get Kenobi on time, I'm hunting every one of you. I get it. I get it. You want to watch it. I get it. You want to catch up. You want to like learn, but don't crash Disney Plus. We want to watch this as a collective and as like a big unit, but don't screw it up for us.
Well, like that's the only issue that I have, which I'm pretty sure that Disney's, you know, that you got to understand it wasn't just the release of Mandalorian. That was the first day that it went live, right? Disney Plus went live on the days that Kenobi came out. So I'm pretty sure that their servers and everything are like way bigger now than it was. Like, because they probably didn't ever think it was going to be that big as it was.
Nope, I had to wait 48 hours to watch Mandalorian.
Oh, I got to watch it the same day, or later on that day, but it was still, you know, it was down, and I kept clicking on it, and it wasn't coming on. I was like, what's going on? And it was just one of those things. But at the same time, you know, they might be just taking precaution, or it could be just an April Fool's joke. I mean, there's so many different things that it could just be. It's really hard to really say what's going to happen. Like, you know, this is all just, you know, speculation, everything that comes out of everybody's mouth until we find out the actual details. Like, basically the three things that to me, it possibly could be, this is just a joke and they just did this just to mess with everybody, which is cool. I'm fine with that. Or they're bringing something else out on that day, and they said, you know, we got to switch this around because Kenobi, ain't nobody else going to watch whatever else it is, or they're not going to watch Kenobi. It's just not a good marketing move. Or it's just, what was the third one? I don't forgot what the third one was. I just had three in my head, and I just forgot what the third one was. Or it's just they don't want to crash the server. You know, because so many, I mean, come on, man. You're going to have people. This is not like a cable program where a bunch of people just come on. This is something that is totally different. You got everybody. You got people from every walks of life, every part of the world got access to Disney Plus. If you got a cell phone, you got access to Disney Plus. You know, so that's a lot of people. You know, this is not like
you got desktops, TVs, tablets, cell phones.
And this ain't going to no movies. You know, you used to have to stand in line, and then they sold out the tickets, and then you got screwed. You know what I'm saying? When stuff came out on the movies. But at the same time, it's, you know, this is worldwide. Anybody that has access to the internet can get on Disney Plus. There's just, I mean, that's a lot of people. And there's a lot of Star Wars fans around the world. Yay, Star Wars, because we're the dopest fans ever. Star Wars Nation. We about to start that. That's going to be the newest thing. We're going to conquer the world.
You want me to start hashtagging that?
Yes. Start hashtag Star Wars Nation.
Screw you, Harry Potter. You don't got shit on Star Wars. Yeah, I said that. I personally attacked her on live stream because she's a Harry Potter fan.
Hey, I'm a Harry Potter fan. I like Harry Potter.
Don't. It's just a knockoff Star Wars. I ain't gonna argue about it.
Hey man, Star Wars, man, they actually, you know, Star Wars, they got Force and a lightsaber. They got wands and special other powers.
A young boy gets greeted by an old wizard and gets taken away off to a magical thing to be taught a magical power.
But a lot of, like, most things is, come on, George Lucas was great. A lot of people stole his ideas, you know.
That's what I'm trying to say. Like, if J.K. Rowling's right? I don't care. If they would just come out and state that they copied George, I would be okay. I wouldn't bash on Harry Potter that much. But they ain't
there's too much differences. There's like way too many differences to really look at it in that same sense.
With anything you watch, there is no new ideas. No matter what comes out, there is not going to be a new idea of something. It's always going to be a variation of the same thing. I'm
gonna come out with my own version of Star Wars, but it's like the only way you can die is get stabbed in the face like right in the eyeball. Like everybody has like iron skin or some like iron bones, and you can't kill nobody or cut nobody's arms off. You have to stab them in the eye.
Achilles heel.
The Achilles
That's the
eye.
only way you could take out these like anybody in the entire world, galaxy, whatever.
But that's it doesn't matter. Any movie that's gonna come out, you're gonna be like, hey, I think that I like this is a variation of something that I watch, because there are no new ideas. People, when people were making movies in 80s, 90s, early 2000s, they took all of the ideas, and now everything that we get is, okay, well, we can take a little bit of this, we can take a little bit of that, we can take a little bit of this.
Well, I mean,
and match them together. Like that's
in all reality, George Lucas did that because he drew from history, he drew from the samurai, he drew from martial arts, he drew
an actual religion. Like,
there's.
All I've got to say is that George did it the right way. He didn't go off of a movie. Well, I mean, he took some movie stuff like The Rocketeer and Flash Gordon and stuff. Flash Gordon was a TV show.
Didn't The Rocketeer come out after Star Wars?
No, the original concept of The Rocketeer was before Star Wars, and then they
No, The Rocketeer that came out like the 80s.
Oh, here we go.
I'll answer this for you guys.
Yeah, The Rocketeer didn't come out before Star Wars.
If I can type.
Can you spell?
No, I can't.
I'm pretty sure. I know I'm old, and I remember watching all this stuff when I was young, but I don't.
91.
Yeah, 91. See, The Rocketeer.
No, when was The Rocketeer first introduced?
1991.
What?
Yeah, I knew that was wrong. I was like, wait a minute, hold on. You wrong on that one, CJ.
I thought The Rocketeer was old as hell.
No,
That
no,
was a
no.
DC Comics thing. I thought that was old.
Rocketeer was 91.
Whatever. Not the point.
It might have been. It might have been. There's always a possibility that it was like a comic book or something like that, or an old book that was written. But that's like everything. Everything is.
Oh, am I right?
So The Rocketeer first appeared in 82. And it's an homage to Saturday matinee serial heroes from the 30s through the 50s.
Okay. So I was slightly correct. Not 100%. I give myself a good 60. I'll sit.
Nah,
with
man,
it.
yeah, like 50-50. 50-50.
I don't want an F. Give me a 60-40. I want a D. Give me a D minus. I'll take a D.
Hey, it was still pretty good that you even thought about it, but we got to get back. We getting on a tangent here. Got to get back to what's going on with Kenobi. So I want to think that the reason that they did, the reason that they did this was because it's for April Fools. I really think that would be so dope if tomorrow we get another video. It pops up all over social media and everywhere of him saying, "Gotcha. Hello there. Hello there. Hello there. I got you." Like, dude, that would be the best thing ever. Like, I would figure out a way to.
That would blow up the internet.
It would
blow up the internet.
Dude, you know how many discussions would be made from that? How many podcasts would be made from that? How many just dude, it would be everywhere. It would be
Star Wars where they got you.
Well, not only did they, have the big man himself do it, but
what's going on, Star Wars team leader?
his accent kind of smoothed the blow on that one a little bit.
He was just the swagger behind him saying it, the suave and all that. It literally
Standing
at first
there with his hand in his pocket.
Well, and he wearing like a decent t-shirt. His veins are bulging out of his arm. Like they made him look good so people wouldn't be pissed. They'd be like,
Only thing is, I swear that he looks younger with the beard. Like if you look into in the show, he looks younger in the show than he does when he shaves off his whole beard. All them crow's feet and everything, it just looks very pronounced when he doesn't have the beard. You don't notice it as much when he doesn't have the beard. Or when he does have the beard, you don't notice it as much as when he shaves his face off, and then he looks older. Like he looks his age. Because what is he, 51? Yeah, he's 51 because he was 50. Didn't we talk about it in another episode? Did he just turn 50?
I think.
I could have sworn we talked about that on one of the.
He turned 51 today.
Yep. I knew that's what we talked about in another episode because we was wishing him happy birthday. No, we wasn't.
I I gotta throw some shade though. Why Hayden Christensen's Google picture make him look like he's like 60 pounds overweight?
Oh my god.
Like he looked like he'd be struggling a little bit with his eating problem. I know he's probably in the best shape right now.
Dude, do you know how good a shape you have to be to play Darth Vader, to be in that hot ass, big ass, heavy ass costume? Dude, that thing is nothing. That don't even look like. We should have asked Ken. We should have asked Ken when he was on the episode, like, how heavy is that damn outfit?
Oh, man. We did ask him. He's like, there was at least 10 pounds on my shoulder. Coming
Oh,
down.
yeah, he did say that.
You lose 10 pounds just putting it on, and then another 31 per hour because you're just sweating.
You know they have fans in that suit. They ain't gonna make him. They're not gonna make him that miserable.
Well, Chewie's costume was horrendous.
Well, you got to think about it like this. If you go back to the original trilogy, you don't see Darth Vader that much. You know, it's just, and I think that that's what they do in Kenobi. They're going to do in Kenobi too. We're not going to see him. It's going to be short scenes that we see him in. It's not going to be like everybody thinks that he just it just flops back and forth from Kenobi to Vader constantly. It's not going to be like that. It's going to be short little, bursts of Vader, and then maybe the longest point will be the lightsaber battle that we see.
I hope we get some Clone Wars flashbacks. Like, I'm really dead ass stuck on that. I would love to see Hayden with his long hair, with the scar on his face, with the Clone Wars whole get up, and you get the Rex moment, or you get a Cody moment. Just a conversation about like a brotherhood moment. Just like a 3-minute flashback of like a brotherhood like comment to each other, just to make us feel a little bit more at home. Because like, we're going to be anticipating that fight. Give us a little bit more depth that makes it a little bit harder to watch that fight. Because if you do that flashback and then that next episode you give us a moment with Obi-Wan and Vader, it's going to hit 30 times harder.
Yeah.
Well, I think that they would. In the book, he has flashbacks of the Clone Wars, so I think it would be a good idea.
That also could be a way that they finish the series off, because they can just go through, do the whole backstory of Kenobi's years on Tatooine and all of that, and then at the end of the last episode, the last like 5 minutes is just a flash forward, and he just disappears, comes on with the Force, Vader chops him, be like, oh, Kenobi's gone.
And this is where we're at.
Well, I think that's what they're gonna do. They're gonna lead up into that last part of or lead up into New Hope. That would be the smart thing to do, because you guys got to remember there's not going to be a season 2. This is just a mini series. It's basically the movie they just made it into a lot longer.
He's going to get a flash like he's meditating. You know, Anakin has those nightmares of like his mom dying and Padme dying. Do we think Obi-Wan's going to have that moment where Vader strikes him down and it scares him, and that's why in A New Hope he just lifted his lightsaber up and just accepted that moment and knew that he was going to be more powerful? Do we maybe get that kind of meditation moment?
I was really thinking about that the other day. Like, Qui-Gon comes to him as a Force ghost and tells him, don't worry about dying. Luke will handle the Emperor and Vader. You don't have to worry about it. You can teach him more from not being there than you could from being there. I was really thinking like, maybe that's where the Force ghost of Qui-Gon comes in. Because if he comes in and, tells Obi-Wan about what's going to happen, you know what I'm saying? Then he's more prepared. That's why he's like, dude, if you strike me down, I'll be more powerful, because Qui-Gon already told him what was going to happen. Like what happens, because Qui-Gon died, became a Force ghost, and then Obi-Wan's like, he's already prepared. And he been training all this time to learn how to do this. So...
Also, on that side, look at Annie had all of the dreams. Annie had the flash forwards and all of that, and he didn't talk to anybody about it. So he went down that kind of
rabbit hole
that kind of furthered his downward spiral into becoming Vader, because he panicked about it. He didn't talk to anybody about it and say, hey, this is some crap that's going on. What the hell?
Well, he told Yoda. He told Yoda that he's having dreams about death.
Yeah, and Yoda's the one who's going to give
him Yoda's going to give him the best advice. Do not fear.
Fear you must not.
Yeah.
But that's,
well, I mean, that was the truth, though. I mean, what he was telling him, attachment. He was just telling them about attachment. That's why they're not supposed to have attachment. And because Yoda, this is the thing is, I think Yoda knew everything that was happening. I think
Say that every time.
I
I'm
think
like,
Yoda.
there's no way that
I think Yoda knew. I think the Force had told Yoda, if you kind of go through the Clone Wars where the Yoda went off and, you know, when he talked to Bane and everything, I think Yoda came back knowing what was going to happen. He just knew there was nothing that they could do to stop it. So he just allowed it to happen. You know,
like, he knew that Anakin went and just completely wiped out that entire thing of clan, tribe, whatever of the.
Well, yeah, because he's meditating and he hears Qui-Gon, Anakin, no.
Yeah,
Like he senses that
he
pain.
just didn't say anything to anybody. He didn't say.
So
hey,
it's Yoda's fault?
This is definitely. No,
I don't think it's Yoda's fault. I think that the Force told him to let things go the way that they were going. He went to try to fight Palpatine, and as soon as he got knocked down, he just gave up and ran off because he was like, "All right, I tried, didn't work. Let's well,
2 up, 2 down, deuces, I'm out."
you know what I'm saying? Like, and then which kind of messes me up. You know what I'm saying? He was like, "I failed." The only way you can fail is if you try. You know, you try and you fail. You don't do or do not and then fail. You either try and fail, or you know what I'm saying. So it was almost
I think of Siths don't deal in absolutes,
what?
and that's every time I hear that do or do not thing, that sounds like an absolute there, Yoda. Don't Siths deal in absolutes? I think so. Back to that whole Qui-Gon thing. I want to say this. You know what would be funny is if that, like, Qui-Gon's telling Obi-Wan, like, hey, this is what's going to happen. Luke's our only hope. And then Obi-Wan steps out and he, like, uses the binoculars and sees Luke doing the pod racing. He's like, shit.
This again.
This
Well,
is
you
our
got to
hope. Great.
They said that the other one was the only change.
I just think that would be a comic relief moment.
But then you also got to remember too, if you think back to it, you know, Yoda's the one that said the prophecy could be taken both ways.
Yeah.
You know, I think Yoda had more insight, and Obi-Wan is being taught. You know, Yoda said he had some training for him, so he was going to be taught. You know what I'm saying? How to commune with Qui-Gon and how to prepare himself, because Yoda already knows all this stuff is happening. So he already preparing for all this stuff. He's preparing everything for the things that are to come. He knew that Luke was the one that was going to be able to defeat Palpatine, or that Anakin was going to defeat Palpatine. But Palpatine really, well, if he dies or if he's the clone or the essence transfer or whatever happens, however, because there's like 20 different ways it's being told.
There's a cop out.
But so you have powerful Jedi, which is Luke. Powerful, because we know Vader was going to die. His heart was hooked to Palpatine. So as soon as Palpatine died, or the clone, or whatever I think it was Palpatine died, and the clone was what he was on Exegol. But that way, that's a perfect balance. Then you had Ben come in. You know, when Ben Solo comes in, now he's another part of that, drawing from that battery. Then you got to have Rey come in. But that kind of is messed up because then you got Ahsoka running around. So, you know, and then you got
alive.
Grogu. But you got to look at Force strengths too. The Sith are always more stronger than the Jedi. I mean, one Sith be taking out like 40 Jedis. You know what I'm saying? The Sith are way more powerful. The dark side is more powerful than the light side. So 3 Sith is just as powerful as 5 Jedi or 6 Jedi or whatever, however you look at it.
And I also hope that my niece isn't gonna watch this or whatever, because it's completely takes back the advice I told her last night. Also, when you're angry and you're mad and you just hate everything and everyone, you react differently to it. You have more strength when you get mad because you have all that adrenaline going. You calm down a little bit, you don't have that adrenaline going, you don't have that same strength. You have more strength when you feed into the hatred.
You're also more prone to get into an altercation. When you're at peace with yourself, you're more likely to just ignore the situation at hand. But when you're pissed, when you're like beyond livid, you're ready to knock anybody out. As long as you say something stupid, somebody's losing some teeth kind of situation. And that's every day.
Look at the Sith. They deal with their passions. You know, that's what gives them strength. Their passion. So when you're looking at the passion versus, you know, serenity, You know, right there. And then you gotta look at the dark side. The dark side like literally decays the body. It like messes the body up. And then, you know, the Jedi live a lot longer than Sith do on average. You know, the Sith usually find a spell or something like that, or some trinket or something that they can use to prolong their life. Or the Jedi don't have that.
Bodhi.
Bodhi just said something and it kind of made me when Annie's midichlorian count was taken, it was said about how it was higher than any, but like they hadn't seen a count that high. What if there's something to this and like Sith have a higher count?
I don't think that that's the thing, because okay, so look at Vitian. Okay, Vitian was very strong, like from birth. Like he was killing people with his mind way before, you know, he didn't even have to. I mean, he killed his own dad just by his original mom and dad. He just thought about it and killed them. You know what I'm saying? He just used the Force and just like completely wiped their brains like off the planet. He was so strong that when the king or whatever the Sith Lord came to him to just check on him, he made that dude whimper and cry, and he was like 10 years old. But Vitian, by all things, I mean, he was born with black eyes. So but they don't ever tell you what his actual midichlorian count. I don't even think they was registering midichlorian counts then. But you look at different species were able to survive different things better than others. Like Yoda lived 900 some years old. Most people don't live to be 900 some years old, or most other, you know, humans. In Star Wars, you might get something that's in the, you know, probably well into the hundreds. But so it has to do with species. But it also has to do with ritual stuff, because Vitian lived a lot longer, but he sucked all the Force out of an entire planet. He sucked all the Force, and he kept having to feed the Force into himself to become, you know, to stay alive that long. So, I mean, there's a lot of different variants that come involved in it. But the way that Bane explained it, the Force is like a battery. The more people that are sucking upon that battery, the weaker the Force becomes. So you got 4,000 Jedis, you got 2 Sith. Them 2 Sith are going to be way stronger than a, you know, handful of Jedi, because their Force abilities is going to be way stronger. But there's consequences to that. Yeah, you might be very powerful, but Bane's hands started shaking and he started seeing deterioration of his body, and he was in his 40s. No way he would have lived to be 80 years old.
Well, also with that, if there's, you know, a battalion of 40,000 Jedi and 2 Siths, the Force is all about balance. So of course those 2 Sith are going to be they're going to be more powerful than a Jedi and a Sith one-on-one, because that Jedi is going to have less Force ability. I don't know why I put that.
He's not going to be as strong.
It's not. Yeah, that's what I meant. It's not going to be a fair fight, because since there's, you know, 40,000 of them and 2 Sith, the Force is going to balance that out. So a Jedi's never going to be able to win one-on-one.
But then you come to a point, and that's the reason that if you really look into it, there was only a few selected Jedi at the point Luke can Force project himself clear across the galaxy, because at this point he is super strong, because there's no other Jedi sucking off of that battery. Everybody gets into this big concept. The Force is always in balance. That's why, you know, people look at it like this balance thing, and it's always in balance, because the dark side is just as strong as the light side, and the light side is just as strong as the dark side. It just matters who's pulling off of that strength. Now, do you have a few people doing it, or do you have a lot of people doing it? It's still the same amount. You have if you go back to the what the hell is it called? You got the Father, the Son, and the daughter. You know what I'm saying? The Son and
my mind immediately went to the Holy Trinity.
No, well, it's same concept.
But see, the Father was just the one that held the balance. He was the Force.
Mortis.
Mortis, the Mortis arc. So if you're looking at the Mortis arc, you got the Father. You know what I'm saying? He's the balance. He is the Force. Then you have the dark side, which is the son, and the light side, which is the daughter. They're both at equal strength. He's just the one, he is the force. They're drawing from him. So when you and they can't beat one another because they're exact same strength. Just like the Jedi could never completely wipe out the Sith, and the Sith could never completely wipe out the Jedi. It's impossible. There's always going to be somebody there that can draw from one of those sides. How powerful they are all depends on how many there truly is. And the Sith were constantly killing each other. That's one of the reasons that Vitiant was so hard to take out, because there might have been a lot of Sith lords, but they were constantly fighting with each other, killing each other off. So it kept the numbers always lower than what the Jedi had, because the Jedi were constantly taking in new recruits. But the actual force itself never really got drained. It's just how powerful the person could be because of how many there were, drawing upon the actual force, which is the actual one-sided thing. The force is neutral. It just, you allow yourself to draw upon the force in a certain manner. Just if you chose the dark side or the light side.
Basically.
At least that's what I've got off of the books that I have read and listened to throughout time. The force is in everything. It's everywhere. It's all over it completely. It's what binds the galaxy together. So it doesn't go anywhere. Like people that's why everybody was like, oh, if you killed the dark side on, or you killed the daughter died, so now the light side is weaker, or the son, the father died, he is the force. Them is all manifestations of what the force wanted Anakin and Obi-Wan and them to see. It was trying to explain something to them. Them people did not even exist to begin with. They were just part of the force. It's the living thing that controls the entire, it holds everything together. Everybody has the force in them. Do they have the midichlorian count to actually be the ability to be able to use the force? Not everybody had that, but everybody they got midichlorians because that's what holds them together.
Yeah.
They couldn't be alive without midichlorians.
So it's pretty much just a force manifestation of what would be easy to approach. Are you going to be able to approach an orb? Like Yoda had a very hard time believing that was Qui-Gon in that orb. Or does Mortis do the father, the daughter, and the son?
And give it some more of a context. How can you, because basically the story arc of the Mortis arc and the story arc of Yoda is the same arc. It's the same basic thing. There was 5 of the orb things, and they created the 5 different alien people that was floating there, and then you had the father, the son, and the daughter. It was still just the force. That's all it was. It was just the force. It was just manifesting itself in a situation so Yoda could understand it, and then for Anakin, which I never got that because they let Yoda remember and then they wiped their memory, so that didn't make no sense. They were supposed to have done it. I don't think it would really happen that way, but you know what I'm saying? They put it together. But then, there were certain aspects of the situation, and it all comes back to the Force Ghosts, because that's where they say during what I know about Mortis is that they have that's where people would go to learn how to become Force spirits.
Yeah.
But then other people believed it never even existed, and it was just a fantasy.
Palpatine
like Obi-Wan, Anakin.
Oh, sorry.
Anakin and Obi-Wan and them didn't even know it ever existed, so it hadn't even been taught to that. But other Jedis had talked about it being something that was a myth, and then other Jedi saying that's where you have to go in order to be able to become part of the Force. So, there's a lot of different examples in a lot of different books. It's actually brought up, Mortis is brought up in Redman. He actually talks about going to Mortis at one point. That everything goes to Mortis. He says that in the Book of Redman. So it's like, okay, it just depends on the time period. A lot of different things kind of like coincide into what it could actually be or what it could actually mean. But from what I've got, the Force is everywhere at all times, all things. Everybody has midichlorians in them. The whole world, a rock has midichlorians in it. It holds the planets together, holds the galaxy together. The
biggest thing with the whole Mortis thing, like since we're on that topic, Palpatine didn't even believe that Mortis existed. he was very adamant on Mortis being just a fake concept. It was just a figment of your imagination. It was the Force is just the Force. There is no Mortis. There is no father. There is no son. There is no daughter. There is no orbs. There is no this or that. He was very avid on that. And then, the light side kind of was like, nah, bro, like, do you not see Qui-Gon right there and Obi-Wan? Like kind of deal. It was just whether you were willing to. I think the biggest thing is that I feel like dark side users could access Force Ghost, like being a Force Ghost.
Well, the only one is
the belief system.
The only one that's ever been able to achieve that was Bane.
Yeah, because
Bane Force Ghost popped up to Yoda during that the Yoda like leaving arc when he went through his little trial or whatever it went through when he had to fight himself and all that. And that's basically the same thing that Anakin went through. He had to fight himself in a way. He had to fight what he believed in order to be able to, because basically the father was trying to get him to become the living Force, to become the new Force, give up his body and become the Force and be the one that could control what was going on in the Force. The father knew that he was the chosen one. That's why this big question, is Luke the chosen one or is Anakin the chosen one?
When Anakin died, he became the father practically and brought that balance back.
He also fulfilled his prophecy of being the chosen one and bringing balance to the Force, because he was the one who the whole Palpatine coming back thing, it doesn't exist right now. He's the one who killed Palpatine. He just needed his son to practically die for it to be like, oh, I am really in a bad position. Like, I made some mistakes in my life. This is not where I should be.
I owe 22 years of child support. I think this would be a good way to go out.
Right, like he, and that's, I actually got into an argument with somebody about that.
Well, you got to be a pretty, people say this all the time, and I've seen it go the exact opposite way. Oh, man, I wouldn't let nothing happen to my kid, and I see somebody kid outside getting beat up by 15 people, and they standing in the door just watching. Like,
tough it up. You just tough it up. Swing back.
You know what I'm saying? Like, not everybody has that parental instinct to just die for their kid, because Vader knew he was going to die. If Palpatine dies, he dies. His heart is his suit was connected to Palpatine's heart. Because you can't die from getting your hand cut off. Like, he wasn't even bleeding, and his hand was robotic anyway. So,
but he was at this point 99% robot, and then when
he was a good 60.
Okay, well, still he was still basically held together by
stuck on that 60-40 thing.
And all of that, like he was still a large portion of him was still robotic. So when Palpatine is sitting there using electricity to shock Luke and was killing Luke by having that lightning go through him, and when Vader picks Palpatine up, his electricity, his lightning is still going and it's running through Vader. So that's just going to short circuit all of his systems that are keeping his heart alive.
But in one of the books it talks about his heart was connected. Actually, in several books, his heart was connected to Palpatine's heart. If Palpatine's heart stopped, Vader would die.
Yep.
His suit was connected to Palpatine's heart. It was Palpatine's fail-safe to keep Vader. That's why Vader never tried to kill him before and just become the new Dark Lord of the Sith.
The more you know.
And then Palpatine wasn't following the rule of two anyway, because Palpatine was trying to live forever. He was creating clones and practicing essence transfer and all that stuff.
You also got to think is the Inquisitors. There was not a balance during the whole Rebels. The Rebels, well, obviously now Kenobi and this Rebels series. Inquisitors. You have what? You have Kanan, Ahsoka, Ezra, Yoda, Obi-Wan, and whatever
other Jedis are surviving that they're hunting.
Yeah. So you'd have what? I'm going to give it 10
or 12.
10 or 12 versus the 15 Sith. There's no balance. And that's why.
But see, that's the reason.
Understanding that Palpatine got rid of the Inquisitors at the end of Kenobi because it would make sense.
That's the reason that Palpatine failed. In all reality, Palpatine failed because he didn't follow the rule of two. And that's the same reason in the long run that Bane was beaten by Xana because he wasn't trying to follow the rule too, and he created it because he was trying to live forever. He was like, "Oh, I'm not ever gonna find." He didn't believe enough in Xana to believe that he could, that Xana could be the next master of the Sith. So he basically went to Andadu's temple and got his holocron. And actually, that's what I'm going over on Star Wars in 10 right now. Got his holocron to learn essence transfer, so you could transfer your essence into somebody else's body. He tried to do it to Bane
being Palpatine. Like, are we still stuck on that?
I mean, it's possible.
Because it would make sense if you think about it. You go, Bane goes to Palpatine, Palpatine goes to Snoke. Snoke goes back to Palpatine because Snoke gets killed.
I don't think Snoke was ever a real person.
He was a clone, but
I think he was a clone, and it was a manipulated clone between like Palpatine's DNA and one of the Kaminoans' DNA.
Oh yeah, we pulled that up because he was too damn tall. He was a giant.
But I mean, you gotta think about, but he didn't look enough like the people that are the banking clan who Palpatine's master. Why is his name not in my head?
Plagueis?
Yeah, Darth Plagueis. Plagueis was part of the. He was one of the tall people, part of the banking clan. Had them long necks.
Well, we went on a pretty good tangent. We got far away from Kenobi for some reason.
We're still on Kenobi. It all falls back to Kenobi.
Yeah.
Technically.
And yeah.
Oh, this is sour.
Oh no.
Oh. I don't mean to be smacking in y'all's face, but this is sour.
It just makes me want to go to the gas station and get some more heads.
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, Jerk.
Yep. I think we covered about everything we could cover in this little short special episode of why.
We covered Kenobi. We covered Mortis. We covered Bane. We went back to Palpatine's BS of coming back. I mean,
well, I think all of this plays into a factor because all of this has to do with what Kenobi's going to be going through okay, first off, Kenobi has to learn how not to be a Jedi no more.
Yeah.
Something he's been trained his whole life to do. You help other people. You put other people's needs before your own. And he has to stop doing that. He has to learn how not to use the Force because he don't want to be attracted. He also got to learn what mostly has been taught by Sith is how to shut yourself off or to put a Force barrier around you where other people don't know that you're Force sensitive. Because that's how they find you. They detect that you can use the Force. That's something that's more of a Sith trait. Jedis don't go around.
The Grand Inquisitor is very good at sensing that. We saw it in Rebels, this last episode that we just talked about. The Inquisitor. He could sense Kanan and Ezra jumping off the ghost in the, what's it called, Kyle? The little... I can't remember what it's called. It's the little skate pod kind of deal. But the Inquisitor, like literally, the guy hadn't even came in and said, hey, this is where the hyperspace dropped. He's like, yes, I know. Should I do it? And pulls him out of light speed. Like you got to think, if Kenobi's using the Force, that Inquisitor is going to sense it.
I mean,
anywhere near Tatooine, at least.
And I'm not saying that he's not going to use the Force. He's going to do that, but that's how I think that the Inquisitors they know where he's at. They know where he's going and stuff like that. But these are all the things that he has to learn within this 6-7 hours or however long it's going to be of the Sith or of Kenobi. He has to make mistakes. And like I said, I don't know if they followed the book. I'm hoping that they did, but he makes mistakes and he uses the Force and he does stuff and attracts attention to himself. And he has to keep telling himself, I can't do that no more. I can't go to the rescue. I'm not that guy no more. I can't be that guy anymore. And I think that's where it has to go. It has to go there. So, and I think as soon as it does, as soon as everything like boils down to it, that's how the story's gonna play out. I think it's gonna come out with some action. He's trying to get Luke to Tatooine, and get him all set up. And then it's gonna do kind of like a flash forward, and then he's a little bit older, and but he has to go through that time of learning not to be a Jedi no more. He has to learn to just be this hermit. And I think that that's which way it's going to go. And all these things kind of play into effect. The Force, the good and the light and the dark side. Because he's going to go through some very dark times. Man, he's there by himself. He's just by himself. He's dealing with all this emotion. His best friend, his son is dead, which he thinks he's dead. And then, he got his son. But at the same time, everything was about training Anakin to bring balance to the Force, and then that just blew up in his face, and it didn't happen. Then his master's gone, Satine's gone, everything that he's grown accustomed to all them years of being in the Jedi Order are gone. He's going to go through some dark times, so I think, the dark side is going to be tugging at him a little bit. He's got the light side, he's going to be going through that balance and all that. So all this stuff that we've talked about is going to play into a part when it comes to this. To the Kenobi story,
and part of and knowing that he was he wasn't the sole reason, but guaranteed that if Lucas had not, if they didn't kill off Liam Neeson, that I honestly think that Jin would have stopped.
Well, and you got to think
he stopped Annie from becoming Vader. So, but
I still think.
But because Kenobi saw him as more of a brother, he wasn't as
strict,
harsh on him. Yes, strict. He wasn't. It's the same thing. You with the whole you can be a parent or you can be a friend thing like that. He thought of him more as his brother, and so he also has to deal with that. Of okay, well now I have to figure out what I'm supposed to do because my entire purpose within having an apprentice and all of that and raising this person, I royally screwed up. And now I'm here. I have to watch over this other one. How am I going to stop that from happening again?
And he's got survivor's guilt. That's my biggest thing is he's got survivor's guilt. Him and Yoda both.
Yeah.
You got to think that for all they know, they're the only two left. They don't know Ahsoka's still out there. They don't know.
Well, they don't know what other. I mean, they can sense. I still because they can sense through the Force. I'm pretty sure that they can sense. At least Yoda could probably sense how many other Jedi has survived. But it's not that many. It's enough to have some Inquisitors got to go hunt them down. Yeah. But I still don't think it's like a giant, a giant giant amount. There was thousands of Jedi. Now there's probably 10, 20 maybe.
You can't walk across the street and run into one.
Yeah, you can't just be like, hey, that's a Jedi. No, you'd be like, yo, that kind of looks like a Jedi. And no, that's just Ben.
But
he's a crazy guy who lives on the corner.
He talks to his mule.
But I think there's going to be a lot of in-depth, a lot of in-depth conversation with himself and with the Force. And at some point, I truly believe that Qui-Gon is going to come back as a Force ghost.
I hope he does. And just Kenobi's going to be struggling with something and he's going to be self-doubting really hard. And he's just going to come and smack the back of his head. And he's like, what you doing, stupid?
I don't even think it's going to be that long. I think it's going to be towards the beginning, too. I think the Force ghost is actually going to come toward the beginning. Actually, originally, I thought it was going to be closer to the end of the series, but I think it's going to be closer in the beginning, and he's going to be the one that comes tell him, hey, you cannot be a Jedi no more. Qui-Gon's going to be the one to kind of get him, maybe the first couple episodes, he's still trying to do Jedi stuff, and he's like, hey, dude, you're drawing too much attention, and finally Qui-Gon's going to come to him and be like, you are not a Jedi no more. You are a hermit. And
you have to tone it down because you are, this boy depends on you, even though he doesn't know it.
Yeah, that's what I think is going to happen, which I could be wrong. I have no idea, but it's fun to
sense.
It's fun to speculate because my mind keeps changing. The closer we get to the time of it coming out, my mind keeps changing. I keep thinking about it okay, if they go off the previews, we see him, he's watching that. We know from the book, so I know at some point, or from the book at some point, I think I just want to believe because the book was so good. I want to believe that they're going to use parts of that book because you got to understand this was written. The book came out and then that's when they was talking about the Kenobi movie and everything was happening right close to each other. I just don't see that they didn't use parts of the book. I just have this feeling that they used parts of the book and that's what Kenobi was doing.
I want that interaction with him and Owen's like, stay away. You're not helping. You're not.
Well, even in the fan films, Kenobi or whatever, you know, when he goes to fight the stormtroopers, he's like, "What are you doing, man? Now you're gonna cause more of them to come, man." Well, God. And Obi-Wan's like, "Hey, man, I was just trying to help," you know. So it's like,
I still want that Black Chrysanthemum scene. I'm just gonna say it.
that would be dope to see that. Like they hired him to, and that's where. But
Well,
I don't know.
That's also Owen. You know, he said that, you know, he didn't want Luke to end up like his dad, and so he was keeping him away from it as much as possible. So if there's an altercation between Owen and Ben, or Ben, whatever, it's Ben. If there's an altercation there, it would make sense because, you know, Owen's half brother was taken by the Force. He stopped being himself and he got overwhelmed by it. He went to the dark side.
His stepmom.
All of that. His stepmom was, you know, got
brutally.
She wasn't attacked because of the Force, but, you know, Annie said that he was going to bring her back and he was going to go save her, and he didn't. He wasn't able to save her. So I think there's just a lot of resentment towards that in Owen, and for him to just straight up, it makes sense for there to be an altercation and for us to see that altercation, because all we knew about it was, oh no, Owen hates it. Owen does not want his dad, Luke, to become like his dad. Well,
even if it's an argument in Anchorhead, like we saw him in Anchorhead staring at an Inquisitor. Like, think about what if that moment right before the Inquisitors show up, like Obi-Wan senses it, gets the hell out of there. But before that, Owen and Ben have that argument, and Owen's like, "Hey, I know you've been watching him. I can see you up on the hill."
Or we could all just be completely wrong, because we was all completely wrong about what was going to happen on the Book of Boba Fett. So
nobody knew the Book of Boba Fett was going to be like that.
So there's a lot of time to speculate what's going to happen, and I think some more trailers and some more different things will give us some more insight on what's going to happen. But I want to get my hopes up. I really, really do want to get my hopes up that this is going to be like one of the greatest things ever produced in Star Wars. But at the same time, I'm like, oh man, it might suck.
This might not go according to plan. This is not pod racing.
I gave instructions. Mine just said Annie no.
But yeah, no, I really just, I just hope it pans out, and I hope I'm just super, super happy. I really want that, because, we Disney has not proven the best track record when it comes to stuff. But I think that we should wrap this up. It is, we've been on here for like an hour and 18 minutes for something that we was going to talk about like 30, 40 minutes. So I think we went a little bit over. All right, guys. So make sure you guys check us out on Saturday at 11 p.m. or 11 p.m. Yeah, don't come at 11 p.m. We won't be there. 11 a.m. Eastern time. And we'll be talking about some more Star Wars. See y'all later.
Thank you for tuning in to LSR. If you enjoyed the show, consider subscribing so you can be notified when new episodes are released. If you would like to be a guest on the show or just want to give us some feedback, feel free to email us. You can also reach out to us on all major social media platforms. They're linked in the show notes below. Lightsaber Radio is produced by Pick Film Media and is a Swaycast original, starring Charlie Harwood, Garrison Turcott, CJ Elliott, and Carl McDaniel. And don't forget to join us next time for more adventures in a galaxy far, far away.